Hey creative friends, welcome to my channel. And do you know what time it is? It is the time of year that we have Souptember, and I love this collaboration. It's from Leanne over at the Mennonite Farmhouse, and I really love it because I love soup and I love this time of year. So thank you, Leanne, for including me again this year because this is an annual thing and it's so much fun. So be sure and check down in the description. There will be a list of all of the amazing channels that are participating in Souptember, making awesome soup recipes for you to use for the whole fall and winter. It's just the best time of year. I love soup, so this is fun for me. So here's the one I'm making. So I'm going to use my Mrs. Wages tomato soup that I canned from the Mrs. Wages Week collaboration that we just had in August. And if you don't have Mrs. Wages tomato soup, that's fine. If you're not a canner or you've never canned this or you just don't have any, that's fine. You can just use, condensed tomato soup. So that's okay. But, so you would need a can that's at least 16 ounces of condensed tomato soup. So here's what the ingredients are, and there will be a link to this recipe because this is actually the cheeseburger tomato soup that is on the Mrs. Wages website using the home canned tomato soup. So what I'm going to need is, clearly I will need the Mrs. Wages tomato soup. I need a half a pound of ground beef, and I thought out a pound because I'll use it for some other stuff the rest of the week, and also a half of a pound of some bacon, uncooked bacon, and we're going to cube that up and we're going to fry it. I need a half a cup of white onion diced. I need a half a cup of green bell pepper diced, and then a tablespoon of minced garlic, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. And I have those in my super cute little Dowan salt and pepper crock, and I'll put the link down in there in case you're interested in getting this super cute thing also. So there's that. I also need a teaspoon of paprika, onion powder, and garlic powder that I have right here. And then the Mrs. Wages 2 pints, so I'm going to have to go get another pint of this. So I'll need 2 pints of the Mrs. Wages tomato soup, which I've made, and a cup of cheddar cheese. That's all the ingredients. And the first thing I need to do is cube the bacon into 1/2 by 1/2 inch pieces, put them in a saucepan, turn the heat to medium, and cook the bacon until it's crispy. That'll take about 15 minutes. So while that's happening, I'm going to dice up my vegetables and measure out all of my other ingredients. Then I'll add the half a pound of ground beef to the hot bacon and put it on the stove and break it all up, and I'm going to brown that as well. When that's done, we're going to add the onions and peppers to the pot and with all the spices and saute for about 5 minutes. This is really a super easy recipe. Basically, I'm going to crisp up a half a pound of bacon, and then I'm going to add a half a pound of the hamburger. I'm going to stir that or saute that up, brown it. And then I'm going to add the onions and peppers and let that go saute for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to add the tomato soup and heat until it boils, about 10 minutes. And then that's it. So it's super easy. So I need to go get one more pint of the Mrs. Wages tomato soup. And while I'm going to do that, I'm going to be browning and get the meat all cooked. And then I'm going to be dicing up these vegetables. So once I have my bacon browned and the hamburger cooked as well, or the ground beef cooked as well, I'll come back and show it to you before I add the vegetables. So we'll be right back after all. I don't make you guys watch me brown meat. I mean, you've done that, so you don't have to watch me. So I'll come back when all that's done. All right, now I'm ready to add everything, and I want to show you, I fried the bacon and then took it out. You take it out of the pot, and then you use the bacon grease to fry the hamburger and just break it up into bite-sized chunks because that's going to give it really good flavor. And the bacon and the cheese are just to sprinkle on top, so those aren't actually an ingredient. So here I've separated out, I've got all my spices measured, I've got my garlic measured, and I'm going to put in the onion and the green pepper that I chopped up. It's ready to go in. And now I'm going to saute this with the spices for about 5 minutes. Let me get that in there for you. There you go. Scooch it over so you can see This is just, now you could use any kind of tomato soup with this, like I said. I just saw this recipe on the website and I thought, this is what I'm going to make for Souptember. So there you have the hamburger and the onion and the pepper. And now I'm going to go ahead and put in the garlic, and I'm going to put in my spices, and I will saute those for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to add in the tomato soup, and then let it come to a boil. It'll take a bit, and let it cook for about 10 minutes, and then we're ready to serve. So let me get this over there, and I will saute this and be back. All right, I'm ready to add the soup. And I will tell you, these two soups, I canned them. This one did not seal. Well, no, it did seal. It's this one, there wasn't enough head space to be proper, so I went ahead and filled this jar up, and I just put it in the fridge. So that did not have the right head space, and head space is very important. So if you have too much of it, you may not expel all the air. If you have too little, it could siphon out, and your seal won't seal. So be sure and pay attention to your headspace. But that's simple. So I didn't have enough to fill a jar to the proper headspace, so I just put it in the fridge, and I can use it right away within the next, few days. That's what we're doing here. I love Souptember. I have to tell you guys, it is like one of my faves. Because I love soup. I love this time of year. Of course, I love spring and summer too. I just love it all. But soup is so good. And I oftentimes will just take leftovers and add them all together with a broth and make soup. So those are those are never repeated. But this is a recipe you can print out, and it's super simple. You can see how easy it is, and it's not a long time in the making. So there, I've added the tomato soup, and now I'm going to put this on. I'm going to bring it to a boil. And then I will serve it, and I will sprinkle the bacon bits and the cheddar cheese on top of the soup. And this one, now normally I make some sort of a sandwich, maybe a grilled cheese would go with this, but we had kind of a big lunch. And so I think I'm just going to serve this with buttered crackers. So let me get this cooked up, and I'll show you how I dish it up, and we're ready for dinner. Okay, this just came off. Now this wasn't bad at all. The cooking time literally outside of the video was maybe 15 minutes. Not bad at all. So here we have, and I did say, now if you use the Mrs. Wages, it's very, very thick soup. So I actually did use some water and thin it out to, I would say it's kind of a chili or maybe a clam chowder consistency. So it's so good, though. I tasted it, you guys. So good. Let me wipe the handle off. And then I just have some buttered crackers to go with it because, that seems all right. You could put all kinds of things with it. You could put some, like, celery sticks, all kinds of veggies. I don't think I'm that hungry. I think that's just about enough for me. And so let me put this back so that I can put the little garnish on top. Now, if you're seeing this video and you happen to be watching my channel in general, and you see that I'm posting videos from Alaska or a cruise ship, it's because I'm actually on a cruise this month. I did this video in advance so that I could have it for Souptember. Here goes your bacon. So don't get confused. This was actually created and posted in advance. And I was excited about it because I love Souptember. Okay, now I'm going to put this cheese on top. And this will be a delish. There you go. It almost looks like a chili, but I'm telling you, it tastes like a cheeseburger. So if you've got a cheeseburger lover in your house who maybe needs to eat some soup, this would be the soup for them. All right, there you have it. Souptember 2023, another awesome collaboration. Thank you so much, Mennonite Farmhouse. Leanne, I really appreciate you letting me take part again this year, and I hope you guys try this. Remember, if you don't have Mrs. Wages, just use any other kind of tomato soup, and all you have to do is add enough water to the consistency that you like it. It's just that simple. So there you have it. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.